What's going on, everybody? My name is J.C.Albaugh and I was a Navy corpsman, and now I'm an independent adventure writer. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that was very near and dear to my heart. It goes without saying I am an Indiana Jones fan. I grew up on it as a kid, ever since I saw the first 3 original movies at the age of 8 years old. If you missed that previous video called How to Be a Man According to Indiana Jones, the link is in the description below, and that's really where I really go into how those movies shaped who I am and what it means to be an adventurer in the modern time. I know we aren't able to go and explore and try and find these lost artifacts, but the fact that Indiana Jones presented a whole new world to an audience, it has really given us, the audience, a sense of wanderlust, and it has personally affected me in how I am now more adventurous towards wanting to seek out and understand other people's cultures and their lands and their customs, and living a full life with adventure. And now, Indiana Jones 5 is just around the corner. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little hesitant about how excited I am for this. The trailer just dropped last week. Being completely honest, my faith and confidence in how good it's going to be is wavered. Now, I'm not going to completely shit on this movie. I do think there are things that are actually positive. One of them being Harrison Ford's endorsement of the movie, saying that he was really heartfelt and how he thought the movie was great and how he's proud of how he made the movie. If he gives that endorsement, I'm all for that. And the fact that director James Mangold is behind this, yes, it's scary, the fact that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are not behind this, but the fact that the director of Logan has the creative helm on this, I think there is something to be excited about. But why am I harping on this? I've told you before, stories matter, and they shape our identity. And if stories didn't matter, we would probably just remake the Epic of Gilgamesh the entire time, but we don't, because stories shape our perception of things that we don't necessarily understand yet. And Indiana Jones did a great job of introducing a sense of adventure, a respect for history and culture into a 8-year-old boy who eventually grew up to write his own book. But anyways, it's time to get off the soapbox and it's time to react to this damn trailer. So let's address the elephant in the room. Harrison Ford is 80 years old right now. Now, if we're going on a 1-to-1 scale of Indiana Jones's age and Harrison Ford's age, Indiana Jones was born July 1st, 1899. If he was 80 years old in the adventure that this is supposed to take place in, that would be 1979, which means he would have to see the 1977's Star Wars, which has Harrison Ford in it. I just thought that was a fun little tidbit. But the whole out of place aging character kind of thing is a little played out, and I hate it. I think it was done better in Top Gun, where an aging character was still able to push the boundaries and actually dispense wisdom instead of this whole going out quietly kind of thing. And I get that maybe Indiana Jones is probably trying to bow out quietly due to the fact that it seems like he's just doing professor work.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war.
Alright, let's address the other elephant in the room, the use of CGI to de-age Harrison Ford. Now, I understand that it's been done in other movies. Specifically, I remember it was done to Samuel L. Jackson during Captain Marvel. While it is honestly quite impressive, it still doesn't correlate to the fact that people of different ages move differently. And you could definitely see that when you were watching Captain Marvel and Samuel L. Jackson's action scenes, and you're probably going to be able to see it in this movie as well, unless they do a stunt double, which creates another ethical dilemma of why have actors in the first place if you can just CG old actors onto other people's faces and sell it as that. And I get that they did that for Star Wars during Rogue One, and I had mixed feelings about that as well, but it did make sense because those characters already had a place to be during the events of Rogue One. Admittedly, it would make perfect sense that they CGI'd Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia, But that ethical dilemma of technology over actual acting does raise some concerns about where we're going as a film industry. Especially for those who aspire to be actors in the future, why would they cast new people if familiar faces are already bankable and they can CGI other people's faces onto new bodies, creating a sense of security for the producers and the people who make the movies, but not really creating anything new for an audience or for actors who actually want to get their names out.
Don't move.
Please get out of here. Stop! Sorry.
Let's talk about Helena. So Helena is played by Phoebe Waller-Bridges, and you may recognize her as the voice of L337, which was that droid from Han Solo, a Star Wars story. And I'm not here to criticize her work or her ideals or anything like that, but there's a fine line of respectful and disrespectful when it comes to passing the torch on from older characters to younger characters. One of the best representations of passing the torch on from an older to a younger character was probably from Rocky to Creed, where Creed, yes, he had his own ideals, he had his own struggles, but he still used the wisdom of the older and more experienced Rocky in order to conquer not just one but two movies. And yes, I did see Creed 3. It was a great directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan. While he did take from the older, more experienced Rocky, he still forged a path out by himself, still using his ideals that he learned from Creed 1 and Creed 2 and his mentor, Rocky Balboa. And then there's the disrespectful way, which can be summed up as Phase 4 Marvel.
And what is? But we can't pretend like we aren't two of the few people on Earth that can actually protect her, which is why we have to make sure of your ability to tolerate distress and regulate your emotions, especially your anger.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger.
Oh, I just saved the world. What do I know? Let me go fuck myself. After judging from the couple of seconds of trailer and listening to the rumors of what is about to go down, there is a slight chance that Helena is going to be the successor to Indiana Jones. Honestly, not excited for that. If I wanted to see somebody take over the mantle of Indiana Jones, I probably would have watched a movie called Helena Shaw. But the fact that this is an Indiana Jones movie, I know, staying out of line, but maybe I wanted to see Indiana Jones. And from this one scene that they made in the trailer, which they obviously wanted to advertise, he's out of shape, he's out of the game for too long, he's retiring, and he's probably going to take on this new character. This character is just going to outshine him in every single way and completely disregard all the lessons that he learned in the older movies, comics, books, and video games.
Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all.
So now is probably as good a time as ever as to actually explain maybe what exactly the Dial of Destiny is. So one of the great things about the Indiana Jones franchise is the fact that they use real artifacts to act as MacGuffins for the movies. This creates a sense of realism and an interest into different types of cultures. So Raiders of the Lost Ark does based on Judeo-Christian mythology with Moses and the Ark of the Covenant and the Ten Commandments. And if somebody thought that was interesting, they would want to go on to research more about what happened with the Ark of the Covenant or what the story was behind it, the Book of Exodus. Temple of Doom was based on the Sankara stones, which what I remember was based in Hindu mythology. And then the Holy Grail, which was the Cup of Christ, presented an interest into the story of Jesus and basically what happened with the Holy Grail and the knights after that, the Crusades and all of that. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it's debated in the archaeological world of whether or not it actually was made in ancient Mexico, but the Crystal Skulls, which were real things that were found, do have a basis in Mesoamerican culture and does bring evidence to the argument that aliens may or may not have existed on this world. I have no opinion on that personally. So when it comes to the Dial of Destiny, I try to do my research of what it could have been. Alright, so the theory goes that the Dial of Destiny is actually based on the Antikythera mechanism. So the story is, back in 1900, a bunch of Greek sponge divers were diving around off the island of Antikythera. They actually noticed that there were a bunch of bronze statues and a sunken ship. So they were pulling stuff out of the water, and they noticed that this big chunk of overgrown metal was lying at the bottom of the ocean. ocean. And they kind of like cleaned it out and realized that it was this circular mechanism. They didn't exactly know what it was, but they knew that it was important. Fast forward to 2013, and a bunch of researchers used this X-ray scan, and it created this composite image that pulled away from the overgrown sediment that was lying at the bottom of the ocean for 2,000 years and constructed it into what it actually was supposed to be. And they found a whole bunch of writing, and they found 80 different pieces that connected to each other. And what they speculate was that it was used as an analog computer for ancient Greeks. They were able to chart out the stars, and it was used as almost like a sextant, but it could also track the years, track the 5 classical planets, and act as a navigation tool for sailors. The problem was, archaeologists couldn't find anything like it during its time. So of course crazy archaeologists are saying that since that there were a whole bunch of pieces that looked to be missing, it was possibly a tool used for time travel. I'm not putting 100% into that's probably what it is, but it seems likely due to the fact that the artifact in the trailer looks extremely like the one that's in the museum right now. Do I have a problem with the whole time travel thing? Of course I do. Do I have it more than the aliens? Yes. Time travel is a fucking deus ex machina for all of storytelling. I barely tolerated it in Avengers Endgame, and I'm probably not going to like it in this. And I doubt that they're going to go with the whole time travel thing. It's anyone's guess as to what this movie is going to be.
You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
That's exactly what I wanted in an Indiana Jones film. Hell yes. I really wanted some woke, far-left, liberal bullshit in my Indiana Jones film. Honestly, I can't believe they didn't do that more.
Well, it's about time!
That was real imperialist of you, Colonel. You need to do better. Poppycock, this is British-occupied India and I just saved you, Yankee ass. But maybe I just need to check my privilege.
And now a final triumph.
Indy! Give him hell, Indiana Jones!
Another good thing. I really like the fact that John Rhys Davis is back in this. And Antonio Banderas. I don't know what he was doing in there, but I'm ready for that.
Once by your father. Sorry!
There was an idea that Helena Shaw was the daughter of Marcus Brody, and that would create a lot more emotional impact with the fact that Helena is supposed to be Indiana Jones's goddaughter. But the fact that this trailer disproves that is kind of a point against them, and I feel like they probably should have gone with the whole Marcus Brody thing, because Marcus Brody was a great guy in both the first and the third films. Yes, he's a bit of a doofus in the third one, but he's still a good friend and mentor to Indiana Jones. But fuck it. And also, where's Marion? Didn't they get married in the last one? And where I know that Shia LaBeouf ain't in this. It's okay.
But I've been looking for this all my life.
If you're looking for this thing all your life, you have found the literal existence of God. You found the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. You haven't been searching this for all your life. Even if this is a fucking flashback to World War II, you started this in your 40s. Indiana Jones would have been 40 at that point. And now he's what, in his 60s or something like that? You've not been searching this thing for all your life. You've been having a lot of great other adventures for this. The other thing is the over-reliance of CGI. One of the big reasons why we liked the original 3 Indiana Jones movies was the fact that the action set pieces were real. And then when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull happened, and it got absolutely shit on because it used a lot of CGI for its action scenes. And I get that maybe the car chase was not CGI. The jumping out of plane thing, I had more edge of my seat action during my time playing Uncharted 1. Look, at the end of the day, we have been waiting for an Indiana Jones movie since it was actually talked about in 2011. I'm definitely going to go see it. I know that sounds preposterous, but I'm going to have to give Disney and Lucasfilm my money in order to go see this. But there has to be a sense of finality to the things that you love. And yes, it's absolutely bittersweet. You can still remember it. You can still love those things. But when you continue to drag its corpse on longer than it should be, and you refuse to let it go and let it end, you're left with spoiled products that taint the memory and the legacy of the thing that you love. And we've seen this a lot in pop culture recently, like things of Phase 4 Marvel that should have been put to rest to allow for new things to grow, but have continued and I've honestly spoiled the reputation of the older products. I'm not saying it's not okay to like those things, but there should be a sense of respect towards the finality of a story. And there should be a newfound risk to take things on that are newer. And with Indiana Jones 5, I think we're just seeing another product that got carried on a lot longer than it should have been. And from a business standpoint, since production companies like Disney and Lucasfilm have been losing money, they're more adverse to taking risk for new things, and that's honestly what's killing them right now. And the fact that they're not willing to take on new things is eventually going to lead on to the downfall of both the production company and the things that we enjoy as an audience. I will watch this movie, and I just hope to come out of the theater knowing that it ended on the right note. And I know what you're thinking. Joe, could you do anything better? This is my attempt. It's now available on Amazon. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Please subscribe to this channel if you like this video. And for a love of all that is good, and a God-given duty to protect it. I'll see you guys in the next one.